This is the Shape of You Recreate tutorial. First, we will open up the file and talk about the terminology I'll be using throughout the video. This is the workspace, which is where you will add all of your instruments or split, join, and move all your audio files. The second one is the zoom. You can click and drag this left or right and it will zoom in and out. The last one is the playhead. This indicates which section of your music is playing. It will also help you be accurate when editing your audio files. So the first thing we want to do is change the tempo to 96. We will click and drag in this center interface all the way down to 96. Next, we're going to change the classic electric piano to the marimba. So I'm going to search marimba, and as you can see now, the marimba has been changed in the workspace. Next, I will double check to make sure that the smart window is opened up by pressing the letter B on your computer keyboard. As you can see, this window will open and close if I press the button. Next, I will change how the marimba will sound by altering each of these settings. Low will be at 0, this will go to high, this will be at 100, and reverb, we can call this at this line right here, about 75. Next, I'll go scroll down on this side over here and change master echo to about 25 right here. Now, I will press the letter E on the computer keyboard to open the editor, which looks like this. I will go over to the editor zoom, and as you can see right now, it has 3 lines in between 1 and 2. It measures 1 and measures 2. So I want to actually see it where I have 3 medium lines and then 3 small lines in between. Okay, so I'm actually going to zoom in a little bit more so it's easier for me to type in. Now I'm going to find C4 and I'm going to hold the command button, and as you can see, my mouse pointer has now changed into a pencil. Okay, and I'm going to click right here. It should open up in this green box. I will drag this green box to 3, and now I'm going to finish writing in my first melody. And if I didn't get on the right spot, I can let go of command and drag it over into the correct spot. Okay, now let's take a listen. I can press spacebar to play the playhead. Alright, sounds pretty good. Now I'll add a harmonic line. So I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to hold the command button and start adding in my harmony. And now I'll take a listen. If I press return, it will put the playhead back to measure 1, and I will press spacebar to play. Sounds pretty good. Now I'm going to go up to my workstation and I'm going to highlight this green box, and as you can see, there's an upper level and lower level. If I do the lower level, it's just going to extend the green box again, but I want to actually create a loop. So whenever I want to extend the loop, I'll go on the top right of the box and drag it out. I'll drag it all the way to the end of the document, which is about measure 37. Now we're going to add a new instrument. So over here, I'm going to type in picked bass. I'm going to change my tone all the way up to 100. I'll change compressor to about 50, which is there already. I'll scroll over here, move this up to about 25, you could say, and move this all the way up to about 75. I'll actually also turn down the volume, let's call it -6 decibels. Okay, next I'm going to press the letter E to open up my editor. I'm going to find C4 and I'm going to type in these notes here. Extend this out to 3 as well. Find A and then B. And let's take a listen. Okay, actually lower this down probably to about 12. Okay, I'll get on the loop and extend it out all the way out to 37. Next, we are going to practice sampling by manipulating an already existing audio file. There are many ways to sample, but for now, we are going to cut an audio and create a new loop. So press the letter O on the keyboard to open your loops. In the search engine, I will type in glitter night guitar. I'm going to take the first one. Okay, I'll drag it into measure 3. And now I will close the loops by pressing O again. Now on the zoom, I'm going to keep zooming until I see 3.3, right here, 3.3. Now I'm going to take the playhead and I'm going to put it right here in the middle between 3 and 3.3. I'm going to click on my audio file and I'm going to press Command T to trim. I'm going to go 1 spot, 2 spots, and I will also again press Command T to trim. I want this one, so I'm going to click on this spot and delete, click on this spot and delete. And now I'm going to click on my new sample and put it right at 3. Okay? Now I'm going to take it and press Command C to copy, and I'm going to paste it here. And I'm going to paste it again, and I'm going to paste it here. Okay? So this is what this sounds like. Okay, not bad. So I'm actually going to click and drag and highlight all of this. I'm going to press Command C, move my playhead to measure 4, and press Command V. And so now the loop is complete. It's going to go for every single measure, and I'm going to press Command V until the end of the song, which is about measure 37. Now if I click again, that's what it's going to sound like. I'm going to open up our smart window here by pressing letter B. I'm going to change our lows to 0, our high to 100. I'm going to change our master echo to about 25, and then our master reverb to a little bit more than half. And so now this is what it sounds like. Okay, listening to it again, I'm going to lower the volume to about, how about 5.5. We're going to do one more sample, so open up the loops by pressing O. We still need the glitter nice guitar, but this time we're going to do the third one. So drag this again to 3, and we can take a listen to what it sounds like. Okay. So all we really need actually is this first pit right here. So from 3 to this first line, I'm going to press it and Command T to trim, highlight this, delete it, and I'm going to extend this out. And let's take a listen to what it sounds like from here. Cool, I like that. So I'm going to zoom out so it's easier for me to loop it and put it out all the way to the end. And I already have my smart window opened up, so I'm going to change all these settings. Low can go to 0, mid can go to 0, high can go to 100, ambience can go to about 50, reverb can go to about 50, and master reverb here can go about to 25. And so this is what this sounds like now. Now we're going to add some percussion. Type in Chinese kit in the search. We're going to change the reverb to 0, and we're going to change our high all the way up. And now open the editor and find C2. We're going to type our notes in at number 3 on this beat right here. And then also right here. Great. What we're going to do now is change the velocity. As you can see here, velocity is at 80 on the second note. I'm going to change that to 100, and I'm going to do the same thing here. Cool. And I'll change that, drag this out all the way out to the end. I'm going to press enter to go back to the beginning. I'm going to add a new instrument. I'm going to type in crate digger. So here you can see the smart windows is already up. I'm going to put the low cut all the way down and the high cut all the way to 50. I'm going to put reverb to about 50 here. And reverb to about 50 here. I'm going to press E and go into the editor. I'm going to find C1, but I'm not going to use C1. I'm actually going to go all the way up to this note right here. Okay? I'm going to go to our third measure again. So I'm going to find my note here, hold command, type in one note there, and one note there. Now let's take a listen. Cool, and I'll drag this out all the way to the end. Alright, this next section has a lot of zooming and switching between the work area and editor, so feel free to pause the video for accuracy if there's any confusion. First, we will add a new instrument. Type in SoCal in the search. Next, we'll press the letter E to open the editor. Find C#1. So here's C1 and here's C#. Write in a new note on the fourth partial right after 3. Move your playhead to this exact spot. Now we're going to zoom in the workstation, so there are 7 segments between 3.14 and 3.2. So here's 3.14, there's about 6, here's 7. We're going to move the playhead to the second line, click on our segment, press Command T to split it, click on the second segment and delete. We're going to move our green box so it reaches 3.3, and on our editor we'll zoom in, and with our playhead we will make our note as small as this line here in the playhead. After that, we will click copy and paste 5 times for a total of 6. We will click and drag all of it and move it so the last one lines up with this line right here. After that, we can zoom out here and we can zoom out in the play area. We're going to move our green box so it lines up to 3.3. Alright, let's take a listen. Not bad. That is what it's going to sound like. So now we're going to take a look at all of our individual notes, and we're going to actually make a crescendo by changing the velocity. So this first note right here, we're going to change it all the way to 10 and go in increments of 10 up. So the next one's going to be 20, next one's going to be 30, next one's going to be 40, 50, and 60. Finally, I'm going to change the volume down to about -6 decibels. Next, I'm going to change the loop and move it out to 4. Okay, sounds good to me, and I'll drag it all the way out until the end of the song. Alright, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to scroll to find measure 20, click the playhead at the very beginning of the measure, click on each track, and we're going to create different segments, and then do the same thing at 21. So then we can get rid of this, so we can create some space for the beat to drop. And now we're going to delete all these. So all of measure 20 should be blank. Alright, the next thing we're going to do for when the beat drops in the chorus is add another drum. So we're going to type in SoCal, and we're going to go to measure 21. We're going to change the reverb to about halfway or so. Press E for editor, scroll down all the way to C1, which is our bass drum sound, and we're going to make sure that we're on measure 21 here. Find that bass drum and type in a note, and make sure it expands out to. Now make sure also that our velocity has been changed probably back about to 80. I will also add a snare drum, and I'm actually going to decrease that to about 60. Do another bass drum on the beat. Okay, and then I'm going to decrease my box so I can expand it out, so make it easier loop. Alright, we're going to expand this out all the way to the beginning of measure 29, and we're ready for the next step. Alright, when the full chorus comes in, we're going to add a new drum. It's going to be heavier, so therefore we're going to add a heavy drum. And we're going to put the kick all the way up to 100. We're going to put the reverb to about 75. Press E on the editor. Make sure our playhead is really at 29. Scroll down, find your C1, add a bass drum note there, bass drum note on these sections here. Cool. And expand that out all the way to the end. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is add another loop. So press O to open up, type in tambourine, find tambourine number 4, click and drag and add it to measure 29. Press O to close the loops and expand that out to the end of the song. I think after listening to it, I will lower it down to 6 decibels here. Even lower. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is add another percussion instrument. And we're going to type in trap door. Press E to open the editor. Move your playhead to measure 29. Find this note, D1. And we're going to find it and click on this note right here. And then also we're going to expand, not make a loop, but expand this all the way out to measure 32. And we're going to continue in this fashion, spacing it evenly apart. Okay, and we're going to expand this out all the way to the end. And actually on this little bit right here, we're going to cut this. All right, and now let's take a listen. All right, the next thing we're going to do is finish out our percussion sounds by adding another crate digger. We're going to scroll all the way out to this line right here. Press E to open our editor. Okay, find measure 36.3. We're going to scroll down and find this C sharp right here. That's the sound we're looking for. And we're going to click on these notes right there. All right, take a listen. All right, the last two things we're going to do is add an extra bass. Type in alphabet, city boundless bass right here. We're going to scroll over, press E, find measure 29. And we're going to find our C sharp right here. Go down to F sharp here. Expand this out to the end of 30. Find A. And then find B. So take a listen to that. Great. Has a really nice subtlety to that bass line. I'll increase the volume a little bit and expand that all the way out to the end. Alright, and we're going to add our last instrument. You're going to type in Antarctic Sun. Scroll this over to the middle between synth and noisier. And you're going to type in E, find measure 29. And you're going to write in these chords here. So G sharp, C sharp, and then E. Scroll over to the next bit. You're going to do A, C sharp, F sharp. And we're actually going to expand this out all the way to the end of measure 30. Okay, scroll over, add the next chord, E, A, C sharp. And then finally the last chord is D sharp, F sharp, B. All right, let's take a listen. Okay, and then expand that all the way to the end. And there you have it. This is the shape of you recreate.